I want to tell a story about a down low bop. I'm probably going to edit out her name if I say it. But as of now, I currently work somewhere, and I had my position switched. That's cool. That only plays into part of it. But one of the benefits of me switching from another position to another was not only a guaranteed 40 hours, but I was overall walking around more, talking a lot more, doing more of what I guess I was quote unquote supposed to do, which nothing is wrong with, but the only thing I guess would be like the backdraw, and maybe I just care about work friends because I'm a little bit younger, is that I just don't get to speak to them as much unless I get to wait till they're on a break or something like that of the sort. Which, that's just part of life. Like, shit, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes choosing the better option that you feel like benefits you can make you naturally drift away from your friends and shit. That's just for the younger audience. I don't mean to sound so braggadocious and knowledgeable. I'm pretty sure. I'm 24 for those who's curious. I'm pretty sure anybody who's probably like over the age of 20 knows that. But that led to me talking to, I'm not even going to say the name of her position, but let's just say someone up front. And this one, I wish I could show a picture of her. She's pretty, talks proper, well presented, looks good as fuck, thick as fuck, around a little tall in terms of height. I feel like she fits the idealistic mold of what a lot of people want. The pretty, sexy, but non-over promiscuous, ideal that you would want from a woman from an outside perspective, which I felt like I partially went wrong too when looking back at it, because now I'm thinking about it outside of your social media posts, I'm only seeing you at work. I work full time, 5 days a week, trying to make a living, and how that plays into the situation. So, over time, I'm not talking to anybody just like anybody else. I'm either physically or emotionally lusting for somebody to scratch a certain type of urge and shit. People be saying stuff like, yeah, just pull out your phone and jerk off and shit like that. You'll forget about it. Yeah, that's cool or whatever the fuck. But what about the emotional, lustful part? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the part that's going to make you go flirt, hug up, cuddle in bed at night? You know what I'm saying? Something got to scratch that itch. Well, for some people, I won't say it as if that's a need, as if that ain't something I won't say used to, but I know I'm always just naturally in life you're gonna go through periods, unless you, even if you have a wife, I genuinely feel like from an outside perspective, I'm only 24, I've never been married before. But just a period in life you're gonna go through overall where you're gonna have to get used to, be okay with being alone. Just get used to not having no physical, intimate relationships. And, I got to separate the two because people mix those words a lot. No physical or intimate relationship at all for certain periods, whether that's months, weeks, years, however it is, nothing wrong with that. But as I'm talking to this motherfucker up front, we're eventually getting closer. It leads to funny conversations, me just starting shit up so the time could pass. Trying to have somebody to talk to. And it's like, yeah, this the only motherfucker that's up here that's stationary. And still, nothing wrong with that. Keep on talking. Days go by. And shit, I want to do what I want to do. Like, shit, in the beginning, I genuinely liked her. I'm just like, yeah, if this gonna go somewhere, then yeah, it's gonna go somewhere. Like, I'm for the ride. Like, I ain't no ride or die shit, just to be clear. But, like, shit, I wouldn't mind doing it with who I believe I'm with. But, luckily, despite, like, I guess, let's call it situationship, because we weren't together at that point, starting to increase and progressively starting to get good. We, one time, I think she offered it. I think. I'm probably wrong. But I think she had offered it, me potentially. Yeah, I think she offered Chick-fil-A off the rip at first. She was like, yeah, we could go there. Since I was walking off my job space, which, was sort of wrong at the time, in order to go feed myself, whether that was a Burger King or Chinese buffet or something like that of the sort, so we could go eat on break. So yeah, we go to a ride on a break, and it's like as soon as we pull off from the job and we're having one-on-one, she's pretty much saying everything in terms of red flags, like pretty much right off rip. Like you got hella dudes, you know, a lot of them on the background, you know what I'm saying? Nah, even before the car trip. Like, yeah, all of them are texting you, trying to fuck. You got hella dates you already got to set up. Like, first of all, bitch, like, how these motherfuckers even get your number? You know what I'm saying? And that's only going to be important later on because she was eventually looking for a relationship. Not with me in particular, to my knowledge. But, you know, yeah, we're talking, fucking with each other. And as soon as, like, the topic of sex come up, that's when she pretty much shows me, like, the list of people that she's dealing with this on the side. Like, we're playing, laughing with the messages and shit like that. You know, nothing wrong with that. Some of these dudes, they got voicemails. I'm like, shit, at a certain point, I'm just like, all right, I know relationships out the window. So I'm saying a little slick shit I done said before. Like, if you're going to tell such and such to order you something, tell them order two so we can eat. Shit like that. You know, I don't know if everybody do that. But sometimes, you know, if I know shit ain't going nowhere, I need a distraction for the moment, I'll play along with it. You know, it's just how shit go for me personally. And, you know, maybe that just led to her, you know, eventually being more and more open. In the same car ride, I think this is all like in the span of, because we were on a 15-minute break. So I say this is about less than 10 minutes. You tell me you had 2 STIs and, you know, that you advocate for, you know, getting tested. Once again, nothing wrong with that with the exception of the 2 STIs. Like, I've never caught one to this day, and God forbid me ever catching one. And I'm not going to say I'm going to judge. Her story is that she allegedly got it from a boyfriend that she was dating that lasted around like 5 years, according to her. Like high school, I think, all the way to almost 22 or something like that of the sort. And, you know, he allegedly admitted to her, according to her, unless you don't, you know, telling who the hell's telling the truth, according to her, that he ended up giving her things that he had. And, you know, that were red flag off the rip. So I'm just like, when the fuck the last time you got tested? She was like, I think at the time, because he said she allegedly hasn't been sexually active in a minute, like 2 months ago. I was like, okay, so I was like, before anything happened, would you advocate, you know what I'm saying, to get tested again? He's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, that's, and said, I advocate for the shit. I was like, okay, cool. So, okay, I guess I got me a little bop on the side if I really want to pursue this shit. Get back in. I don't think that's where I think I heard more that day. I'm not entirely sure. You know, cool. You know, sometimes, you know, you feed me. Sometimes you or just, you know, share meals and stuff like that. Cool. I'm just like, you know, I don't mind fucking around. Like, shit, we're just going to entertain each other. Yeah, like I said, we're just going to entertain each other. I'm like, shit, I'm not doing nothing else while I'm sitting here walking around most days while I'm at work. Okay, so on to the next. Another thing, I don't know. I'm pausing every time and, you know, having thought pauses to make sure, as I'm recording this video, to make sure I'm saying everything correctly, make sure the story lines up. So even though, like, despite the stories and stuff that we're saying to each other, she keeps on bringing up this dude's name. And I was like, at a certain point, I wasn't really fucking with it. I was like, do you want to fuck the dude? Like, I ain't got no problem with that. Like, shit, we ain't got to fuck with each other. Like, I'm not pressed about it. You know, especially hearing about your past history. And I know this dude's name that she keep on bringing up. So I was like, shit, I'll put him on. But this is where everything pretty much took a downhill turn. Not in terms of our friendship, because shit, you know, you going to fuck with Buddy. And, you know, I know him personally. Unless you bopping, it's just like, this the most it's going to be. But, you know, once you in the friend zone with me, I don't really want to do that in and out, back and forth shit. That's when motherfuckers get confused. That's how motherfuckers get pregnant. That's how motherfuckers don't go through with abortions or think they're comfortable enough to, you know, fuck a plan B. Or, you know, some motherfuckers, despite how they carry themselves when the situation comes and they on the cocktail of good emotions in the beginning of the relationship, a lot of motherfuckers turn stupid. Like, despite their age and, sexual history and how much game and experience they claim to have, a lot of motherfuckers just go stupid. Once again, if you want my boy, I was like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Treat my boy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, give him the, you know what I'm saying? Or boy, in the words of Young Nudie on Pieces of Impleg. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, do what you gonna do. She was like, I think the next day as we're sitting in the break room, well, no, before even that point. No, that's right. That's why we were sitting in the break room. I telling him, yeah, just go pull up on my boy, whatever the fuck you want to. I'm like, shit, I ain't gonna get it. Shit, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You look fine. Shit, I'm sure he don't mind. Like, shit, go to my boy. You know what I'm saying? Give her the number. Like, they go back and forth texting. I hear a couple days pass before we go into the break room. Everything seemed like starting to go cool or whatever the fuck. And she tells me, yeah, this is when she tells me about the STIs. Like, she tells me not to tell him. Please don't tell him this and that. I'm like, bitch. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lie straight to her face. Like, you tell me some goofy ass shit like that, like you willing to damn near fuck up or play with somebody live, especially they got a certain perception of you where they feel like they wouldn't even have to get tested despite them having a condom, and they're open with you about it. And you tell me not to tell this dude that I knew for so long that, like, the fact that this is somebody I'm even putting you onto and that I know longer than you and you expect me to be more loyal to you for some odd reason, even though that this is, you pretty much telling me to hide a red flag that would end most situationships before it even get a relationships. Like, most motherfuckers is gonna friend zone you based off of that alone. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So, before she had linked up with my boy, I'm telling her, like, straight up, I think I did mess up with part of the details with with Lincoln with my boy. One of the main issues I thought she told me was that she may not have the time for a serious relationship. Okay, cool. You're a bop. That's not my fucking problem. So I call my boy before she actually comes up just to make sure. I was like, yo, did she tell you about the STIs? Like, shit, you can hit and stuff like that. Like, she's saying is negative, but shit, tell her to show some results or just bring up the topic and see how she react. You know what I'm saying? And, he's looking at me shocked. He was like, damn, he ain't tell you none of this. Like, why the fuck she's comfortable enough to tell you this? One-on-one, but when we're on, like, FaceTime for, like, almost an hour, I think he said, in the span of a couple days, even hours, like, how come this conversation don't come up, especially if my boy know, and you're coming over to get intimate, like, why is this not a conversation? I was like, shit, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, I'm trying to fuck with her, too. Like, shit, we having a cool vibe or whatever the fuck. Maybe that, that's most likely why it opened up, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know why she didn't tell you. I'm just like, once again, to just bring it up, see how she react. That night comes around, and according to him, which he told me later on, she keeps on bringing me up to him. I'm like, bitch, who do you want? Like, how the fuck I set you up to get fucked by my boy, and you bringing me up consistently around him, and you dead ass be like, oh yeah, call him. And that leads to the next part of the story. He FaceTimes me randomly. I don't even know that he's on a date. And, I smell that she's drunk through the camera, but he's trying to hide it. My boy, according to her, she seemed nervous. And, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like, shit, this dude, he's did more than me. You know what I'm saying? Even finer motherfuckers. Like, that's cool. Like, she's pretty much like over applying pressure. Like, oh, he don't like me for real. He's not trying to kiss me or tongue kiss. I'm like, damn, bitch, like, you pulled up, like, how long ago? Like, what was it, like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes ago? According to my knowledge, and, like, kissing tongue, shit like that, okay, cool, you want to crack, you want to get cracked in the car, hey, do what the fuck you want to do. But the way how I just responded, I should have vocalized that. That's pretty much how my boy responded. He's like, slow down. And, just like, hey, you can't press it, you can't force it. Because according to her, also that night, it's another part of the story I'm missing. She allegedly says that same night, before she pulls up, that she wants a relationship with him. She had good intentions, according to her, despite all the shit she just told me to lie and hide so they could pursue a relationship. Lame ass bitch. So, I think probably about 2 times in total. One time during the first time he called. Like, they go off camera for a minute. Allegedly, they're kissing, all that. He sticks his head back up as he placed the camera somewhere. I'm like, yo, that's cool, Do what the fuck you want to do. Like, I didn't even know that y'all were fucking kissing. I thought you just had the camera placed because, he's not telling me what the fuck he's doing. He just put down the phone camera after she's consistently pressing him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's good to assume. But then, like, in my head, I think about, like, 5 seconds come by. Let's just push it. I'm just say closer to 10. I'm about to just hang up. And then the phone just comes back up. Because, like, yeah, all this is, like, on FaceTime. And... once again, not too much of a problem with that. Y'all, you do as you do, bop. I don't expect too much of a bop. So they get out the car. She's pretty much like the pressure is starting to apply like tenfold. Like you pulling up against the car, knowing I'm on FaceTime with him. Even like in the middle of the day, why is in her car? Like she's like taking the phone from him. We're having separate conversations. She's moving her hand and sticking her tongue in her cheek, pretending as if she's sucking dick, or she's pretending as if she's eating pussy and shit like that on camera. I was like, okay, once again, you're a bop. I was like, ain't nothing you're doing. You're surprising me. I'm just gonna try to give you the benefit of the doubt and just assume you're drunk, or you're making it clear you want to fuck with us both. Hey, cool. Do your fucking thing. Shit, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You was already fucking with other niggas before me. Hey, if my boy gets on and you want to throw something on me later, depending on how I feel, yeah, that's just what's going to happen. Okay, so I think after... Well, I think I was on a FaceTime with them potentially for 30 minutes, just adding to the vibe, trying to make it more comfortable, telling them straight up what to do. Like, she's like, what y'all think we could do? I say, ball, because she knows what the fuck I'm talking about. She knows the Young Nudie reference I done said to her one-on-one about, like, fucking. Because I told her, like I said prior, that's pretty much what the fuck I set them up for, even though she's now pretending... Even afterwards that you didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I was like, damn, bitch, I explained this to you sober at work. You know what I'm saying? Do what the fuck you want to do. Got no fucking problem with that. Cool. I think after the vibe get good enough, he pretty much be like, yeah, I'm going to call you back. I was like, okay, good. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Go ahead. Smack. You know what I'm saying? I think that he calls me again. So this time they're going into the back seat. And... I think me or him hung up. I think it was me. I'm just like, hey, man, get to it. Okay, she told me, like, I think the day after, I'm like, how unhinged I was. I was just like, hey, man, get to it. You know what I'm saying? Hang up, Cool. So he calls me. I think it's about 20 or 30 minutes later. Probably did crack. I don't fucking know. I'm just going to, I believe him because, he was allegedly just resistant and, like, overall just not trying to let her apply pressure overall that night. So yeah, he tells me he didn't. He was like, yo, that shit was whack. Like, even though she allegedly telling me that he told her that he's a good kisser. He called me right afterwards saying the shit was really wet, like really uncomfortable the whole time. You over pressing me, you act goofy, looking at the shit you post, you spend like 20 minutes like, oh, that's another part I missed, like 20 minutes bashing the dude about having a firearm, like if you know, we're closer from like we're close. I'm in Decatur, which is like closer to like Atlanta East, metropolitan area. If you know, there to us, it's nothing wrong with having guns. This motherfucker's pretty much, let's say Tucker. Yeah, she's closer to there. You know what I'm saying? And, they have a lot of ideologies that's bashing that he was telling me that's going against each other that, they were pretty much arguing about before I even got on the phone calls. Like, I ain't know, because shit, through my perspective, everything looking cool from an outside perspective. But at the same time, I get why you would just not hop on the phone or continue a conversation like that with somebody, you wasn't even originally attending to even be a witness to half the shit that's being said. Cool, I don't give a fuck about that. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Do all that shit. Now, for the next 2 to 3 days, why is he hitting me back? Like, yo, this your friend? Has he hit you? Let me call him through your phone. Bitch, what is wrong with you? Like, if the motherfucker don't want to fuck with you, why is he pressing it? Shit, I was like, you must be used to motherfuckers, like, hitting you up after y'all go on a date or blowing your shit up. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, fuck no, boy. Hell no. I done put this nigga on to a goofy. I don't know if she's playing thought because she's drunk. You know what I'm saying? Because then she later on wants to tell me, be like, yo, these dudes ain't respect me. Like, I jokingly will call her Playboy, even though she gets played a lot. It's like, these goofies don't respect me. That shit's just an illusion. I go through them, like, in the meantime for fun. I ain't even give a fuck to ask what the fuck she meant by that. I'm just going to assume the worst. Okay, cool. Have fun, And then she goes back to downplaying him. It was just like, he's a certain age. He's grown. He shouldn't be acting like that at this age. I was doing this. And he broke. I'm like, bro, you saying all this and you knew this the night prior. The nigga asked you for a date that was gonna cost potentially less than fucking $50. So he asked you to split the bill. You knew the motherfucker was looking for a job and he didn't have money and shit like that beforehand. And you was still gonna go suck his dick. And then 2-3 later, you wanna bash my homeboy to my fucking face. I'm like, boy, I thought niggas was losers and desperate for pussy and validation and ego boosting and attention. Here we fucking go, boy. Every time she just speak from that point on, I'm like, boy, I'm glad I dodged the bullet. Say something else. Boy, I'm glad I dodged the bullet. Boy, I'm glad I dodged the bullet. I'm gonna have a part 2 about this woman. Cause shit, I done heard even worse stories. But y'all, if you like this one, there's more of this specific story coming. A little bits and dabbles of it I just recently dealt with.